The initial call out sounded like a static pop. Then there was what sounded like a cut-off scream. I literally thought it was line interference for a moment before a voice cut in, shouting that Transport 517 had been hit by something. The first thing that came to mind was that they had been hit by an anomaly, a sky spike, or quickly formed over swirl. Maybe it was a crown saw or a magma. Problem with that is, transports are large ships, and they aren't brought down easily by these natural conditions. That's why they are the first choice for traversing the Great Rift. I've yet to see a spike or swirl take one down, or even damage it significantly. And it would take an enormous crown saw to down a transport, at least one bigger than I have ever seen or heard of. The only thing that could take a transport out like that would be a magma, and those hit your power instantly, so there wouldn't have been any calm send at all, even the short burst we heard before 517 went offline. The chatter was chaotic as Trevin and the remaining cruisers moved toward the site of the downed transport. We, too, were moving at full speed toward the location. And, as I listened to the urgent voices spilling out of the com monitor, I couldn't help the thought that 517 might have been brought down by something worse, like a weapon. But why would there be a weapon like that all the way up here? It made no sense at all. The cruiser might have hit something protruding from the ground. It was a heavy dark phase we were in, and this part of the rift had never been scanned and raised, so we were essentially flying blind on this mission to begin with, maintaining altitudes that we were pretty certain would be safe, even within the twisted mess that tends to reach up from the Great Rift's floor. But that was highly unlikely, since all ships have proximity sensors that generally give plenty of warning in situations like that. Hitting another ship wasn't an option either, unless it was the ship we were searching for. That might be a possibility. Some large, flying creature could have been the culprit, though there is nothing like that indigenous to the moon that is yet to be recorded. And no such animal would have been brought from the planet, as we only just recently began to accept some of the domesticated animals we keep as pets. As unbelievable as it seemed, given the part of the moon we were in, a deliberate attack seemed to be the only feasible explanation. And that was worse than any natural force that the Great Rift could throw at us. We were still about 3 parts away from the scene, and the comms were still jammed with Trevin and the other operators as they were headed for 517's last report point as well. It was then that I decided that safe was better than sorry, and ordered that all dormant cruisers in the Grand Valley be racked north as we began to move most of the existing cruisers in the expanse to the overlands and the parted, reinforcing our numbers in the regions of the Crystal Plains and the Gladach Mines. And the one thing that was now prevalent in every action command coming out of every regional leader, chief and supervisor, was the order to have arms and basic body protectors worn when outside of their cruisers until further notice. For lack of a better phrase, we were on a high alert that was quickly feeling like the first stages in the preparation for a war. And if that was the case, my first battle would likely be within the ranks of the Guardians themselves.